Oh, that's the wrong one.
I mean, it happens.
Powered by Riverside.
Hello and welcome, everybody. I am living in a gangster paradise, mostly because my basement is cold. I am your host, Captain Boring, along with my dude, Fancy Trash Can. We are back and better than ever. We are gearing up for the college football playoff and the New Year's Six bowl games, but until that point, we're just kind of muddling through. Today will be a nice, short, quick episode. At least that is the hope. Because there's not much to talk about. There's a lot of in-depth we could talk about, but we're not going to do that. And then we're going to pick some bowl games. So, National Signing Day, as you listen to this, it will be Friday morning. National Signing Day happened on Wednesday. And no real shock at the top. I think it finished Alabama number 1 recruiting class, Georgia number 2. Who's number 3?
Texas.
Texas. Take me through the top 10.
Texas at 3, Miami at 4, Oklahoma at 5, Ohio State at 6, LSU at 7, Notre Dame at 8, Tennessee at 9, and Clemson at 10.
Hey, Daddy.
So, that is pretty much it. Michigan ended up 17. They flipped a wide receiver and a corner yesterday. However, what Michigan is ranked number 1 in is the transfer portal rankings.
Oh, so they have an overall ranking, which I think, and by overall, I think that's both transfers and recruit. They're 16th. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In overall,
that is right.
But in transfer, they got 7 commits.
Yes. Yes, they did. And so this is early signing period. There is the traditional signing day period in February. However, very few kids kind of hold out for that now, as most will early sign and then enroll in January so they can participate in spring football, which is very nice. I feel like Nick Saban and Alabama needed to hammer down this number 1 recruiting class because of the year they just had, because of the questions surrounding the program now. Are they still as great as Georgia and Nick Saban? Meanwhile, Georgia's hot on their tail at number 2, so Kirby Smart just keeps rolling that thing over. Is it time, Simeon, that we, instead of saying we want Bama, do we change it to we want Georgia?
If they win the national championship this year, yeah, I think so.
And they go back-to-back.
Yeah, sorry. I was looking at the list there and some of the Michigan guys. I think so. I really, we talked with Robert about this. I talked with Robert about this, probably a month ago now. But I think you have to see how he comes back next year. I know beginning of the year, he said last year was basically a tank or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But things are not starting to look too hot for Nick Saban. But you never know, right? You never know what he does next year. You never know who transfers in. You still don't know at the end of the season. Most coaches have been fired, but you don't know what is happening around the league still, where a coach could get fired and then 2 guys go to Alabama. Or, next year he picks up Quinn Ewers or Archie Manning. You don't know.
Yeah, and
it became personal with me.
There's always that level of he has been crowned the GOAT, so he has to go out and prove it. However, as we've seen kind of in every sport, whether you're a coach or a player, we're seeing it with Tom Brady right now. I feel like there's a time where you're labeled the GOAT and you prove it, and then you just don't know when to leave. And so I'm starting to wonder if Nick Saban at Alabama, because recruits are going to roll in there because they're going to be in the spot to make the college football playoff every year. But I'm wondering if it is not just about time for him to realize that he needs to hang it up. And there needs to be a new voice of, we earn everything, we don't deserve everything. I think, however, with that being said, I think Alabama's main problem this year is that they've had outstanding wide receivers for the past 4 years, and this is the first year in 4 years that they haven't had just just top 10 draft picks on the edges on offense. And so that really kind of hurt him, and Bryce Young was doing the most with the least.
Everybody has an off year. What that says is not much, but you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to say this again, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen until next year. I mean, they still got 27 commits, and they got the most 5 stars of any school. So it's not like they don't have talent.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
I think just the one. I think what I would be more concerned about is the fact that where are they on the transfer? They're not even on the transfer.
Yeah, they really didn't get a lot of transfer guys, which is fine. I mean, Michigan wasn't doing a whole lot of transfer portal either, but I think Harbaugh really kind of changed his philosophy a few years ago, which is 2 years ago after the 2020 debacle was, okay, I need to go back to running the football and have a power run game, but I'm also going to run this program like an NFL-style program, which is, now that your transfer portal's out there, I'm going to use the transfer portal as free agency, and I'm going to use the recruiting as the draft. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to get the best kids I can get, the best fit for my program that I can. But then where I lack every year, I'm going to go out and fill those holes with proven veteran guys who's going to come in here and have a good attitude. And so far it's been working. I mean, he had Ola Timmy just won the Remington Best Interior Lineman.
Second year in a row.
They won the Joe Moore Award, which is Best Offensive Line. That's the second year in a row. So I really think
that's Ola Timmy's second year in a row. He won it last year.
No, he was a finalist last year. He didn't win it.
Oh, I apologize.
So, which is fine, but those are the type of guys you need. And so clearly Harbaugh wants to be able to run the football at all times. And so bringing in 3 linemen, 1 from Arizona State, 2 from Stanford, which runs the exact same kind of run scheme that Michigan does because David Shaw was a disciple of Harbaugh. I think it's kind of a good way to go about it. Plus, then these kids know if they do make it to the NFL, this is how business is going to be done. You have to prove every single day that you are one of the 22 best players on the field, or in the NFL case, one of the best 53 in order to make the team and contribute to the team. And there's always free agencies, and there's always drafts and recruits, and you have to go out and prove that every single day. And it's kind of brought a new edge of prove it to the program that wasn't there before.
Alabama has 12 players that are transferring out that have transferred out in December or are planning to transfer out in December. Only one of them is lower than a 3-star. Most of them are 4 stars.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of the problem with NIL, the transfer portal, whatever. When you go and find a spot, right, that doesn't work for you, it's both good and bad. Because I say, well, college is there for a couple things, right? College is mostly there to give you an education. But
right.
Even if you want to dig a little deeper, most people who graduate, and I know our uncle is a professor at a esteemed university, so he may disagree with me, and that is fine, but this is just what the peons on the ground seem to think, and I think most people would, at least in my circle, would agree with me. You get your degree, and that's all well and good, and that lets you do things in life, like make money, buy a house, etc., etc. But what you learn in college that sets you up for the future has nothing to do with your degree. You learn how to live by yourself. You learn how to resolve conflict by yourself. You learn the consequences is when you become an adult, you can drink on a Tuesday night, but then your 8 a.m. class, your 8 a.m. job you got to be up for, it's gonna hurt you a lot, right? So there are lessons in college that I consider more important than the degree itself. Not saying the degree is not important, and so I think that the transfer portal allows these kids to find a better situation. Just like they do in real life. You go to a job, you stay there for a year, you don't like it, you move jobs. But if you move jobs too much, year after year after year, people are going to stop hiring you and trusting that you're going to be there long term. And then all of these programs are going to look at these 5-star prospects that keep transferring because they don't get playing time, they're not a good teammate, et cetera, and they're going to be like, well, we don't want him. They're going to pass. And so these kids are going to end up hurting themselves as well.
Yeah. Basically, it's just going to be a free agent market, and you can let other coaches develop your kids for you and then pick them up.
It does need to be regulated because you can't have coaches and boosters calling Drake May, the quarterback from North Carolina, and be like, if you come to our school, we'll pay you $5 million. Like, that just can't happen. Come on. Like,
who knows, dude? Who the F knows?
All right. Well, let's move on. Let's pick some games. So we're going to
Can we just before we pick the games?
Yeah. Which
can we just
was a very popular segment.
Lament the fact that we were dead wrong on most of our picks last week.
We went 5-7. There is one pending that will play tonight, and that is Baylor. We went 5-7 last week. Yes, absolutely.
For those of you keeping track, UAB did win. That was one of our 5 that we got correct.
Troy won.
We didn't call Troy. We called UTSA, didn't we?
No, I called Troy.
I think we split on that one.
Okay.
If I had to guess, but yes, Troy beat UTSA. Louisville got blown out to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And then SMU lost by 1 point to BYU. Those are just the ones that I have to,
So it is kind of hard picking these games because in a lot of, like that Louisville-Cincinnati game,
yeah,
the coaching staffs for both teams were basically grad assistants and interim coaches that they brought in from the outside, and a whole bunch of people left over kids that hadn't transferred. So it's kind of hard to call these games.
I think it's stupid. I think you should have a stipulation in your contract that you're not allowed to leave until the season is over, including any bowl games that you may have. Yeah. Like set a term, and that's fine if you want to screw. You're not leaving a school but January 1st should be. That's when you can leave the school. That's when your contract is up. It's a very simple line.
I'll take it even because Brian Kelly left. It was January 1st and Brian Kelly left, but his team was in a New Year's 6th. I'll take it. National championship.
I mean, if you want to do that or make it January 31st.
Clock strikes midnight on national championship. We crown a national championship. Boom. All new coaches. Now you can leave.
It just kind of screws over the kids and screws over. And I mean, it's the same. It's not the same thing. People might say it might be the same thing as kids sitting out. It's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
Like, you have a job to do, and you're leaving before the project is finished. There's no need to leave before the project is finished for you.
It'd be like giving your 2 weeks notice and then leaving a day later.
Right. What is it going to do to you? You're going to get 1 more week of what prep? You're not going to get into your computer for 3 days. You might as well push it off until after the case. Like,
and see, a lot of people were like, well, they got to get in there for recruiting and whatever.
No,
and whatever.
You don't.
Then they got to move early signing period until the the day after the national championship. Move that early signing period. But now you have the transfer portal anyway, which is January 15th.
So it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. So. And that's the other reason I like the kids' ability to move, because coaches can literally just pick up and be like, screw you guys, I'm out of here. And
UConn lost their bowl game.
I know, to Marshall. I did see that.
Yep.
So UConn's
and Toledo did beat Liberty. Thank the Lord.
All right, Toledo.
So
we didn't
Baylor,
have many winners.
Yeah, no. Baylor and Air Force again play tonight. So we will start off. Should we do this just like we did last week?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
That was a big hit. Everyone loved it. Apparently, at our family reunion that we missed.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Didn't know we had. Oh, yeah, that one. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Saturday, September 24th. That is tomorrow's. We have the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl.
No, we got to back up. We got to go to Friday.
Oh, you know what? I am an idiot. I'm thinking it's Friday. I'm wishing it was Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. It's December 23rd, and Louisiana takes on Houston at the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl.
Well, the name is a 2. First of all,
that's
way too many syllables.
That's putting it nicely.
You have Radiance Technologies which is like 9.5 million syllables. And then you have Independence, which is independence. That's 4 alone.
Mm-hmm. It's an Independence Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana. Shaver Point, however you want to pronounce that.
All right.
Just in case you care.
So I'm going to give it a 2.
I'm giving it a 1.
And I'm going to go with the Houston Cougars.
Yeah, I think that's the right call here.
I don't think it is because we're really bad at this. Right?
Yeah,
We've been really bad at this, so it's probably not the right call. However, Houston's been disappointing all year, and Clayton Tune and much of that, the coaching staff, the quarterback, and all that, they are coming back, so I like the Houston Cougars.
I like the Houston Cougars, too. They did just enough to impress me this season. I have no idea how to pronounce this next one. It is the Union Home Mortgage, and I feel like I'm gonna
Gasparilla.
Did you look it up?
No, I know most of these bowl games are called.
Okay,
Gasparilla.
A Gasparilla is a pirate festival with large parades in Tampa, Florida. So this is a pirate themed bowl.
So it's 9.5. If it's a pirate parade. If it's a Pirates
but then
and it's
Union Home Mortgage, so you're going to mortgage your house.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, the Gasparilla, if it was just the Gasparilla Bowl,
you would get a 9.5.
9.5. Union Home Mortgage, again.
Too many.
Come on.
Too many words, guys.
I'm going to take it down to 6.
You know, all you have to do, I'm giving this a 4. All you have to do is just make it the Gasparilla's Bowl presented by. That would be way better.
No, that bothers me more. For some reason, that bothers me more. If it's presented by, that bothers me more. Or it's like that one bowl we had last week where it was blah, 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 presented by, blah, blah, blah.
It's Jimmy Kimmel presents the L.A. Bowl by Stiefel or whatever.
Yeah, I hated that. Hated that. Wake Forest and Missouri.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about the teams.
It's Wake Forest and Missouri. Wake Forest, very disappointing season. I thought they would have one loss to Clemson.
Yeah.
Or NC State or something like that, and I thought they would win the ACC. They're 7-5, so that did not happen. I'm going to take Wake Forest. I just think Sam Hartman's going to go out on a high note. They're going to score a bunch of points on Missouri.
I agree. Everybody forgets Missouri's in the SEC, including Missouri. Now for Saturday, December 24th. That's Christmas Eve.
Yes.
It's the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. This one's simple. This one's sweet. Easy Post. Don't even care what you do. You're going to get a 7 out of 10 because it just rolls off the tongue.
It does. I'm going to give it an 8. Easy Post. What is Easy Post?
I'm assuming it has something to do with like shipping stuff. It's easy to post.
All right. Well, now I got to look it up. It is the Fighting Brady Hoax against the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee by 1 million.
Middle Tennessee by 1,000 million. Yes, absolutely.
Easy Post is it's a shipping thing.
All right. So
the simple shipping API.
So you are getting just how easy it is to roll off the tongue, no pun intended. Easy Post. I will never ever pick Brady Hoke ever in a million hundred years.
Sure. No games on Christmas, and this is the name that started the simple names. The Quick Lane Bowl at Ford Field. It's New Mexico State. Don't know how they won 6 games. Taking on Bowling Green. Also have no idea how they won 6 games. You can get tickets for as low as $3 to this game. So if you find yourself in Detroit, want to go watch some football, Quick Lane Bowl, I've remembered this being the Quick Lane Bowl for forever. So
I'll take your word for it. It fits because they're a tire and auto center, and so they're in Detroit, so that kind of fits. I'm gonna give it just because of the fit and how it's Quick Lane Bowl. It's simple, to the point. It's clearly a made-up bowl, one of these newfangled bowls that just get a sponsor.
And it's not a traditional bowl.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
I'm giving it a 9.
Okay.
I think it's quick to say, so
nice.
Make it easy.
I'm also going to do Bowling Green because our grandfather, R.I.P., had something to do with Bowling Green. Taught there, graduated from there. I don't know. Our uncle maybe too. Yeah,
I think it was actually our uncle.
Because
our grandfather.
Because our grandmother Sharon, she was telling me that he took language classes at Bowling Green. I thought he taught there too. I don't know. Mom, tell us, but just know that we
don't
know something
remember. Our
happened.
memories are horrible. Anyway, Tuesday the 27th, Georgia Southern takes on Buffalo in Montgomery for the Chamomile Bowl.
Chamomile Bowl. What is chamomile? Like the tea? Chamomile.
No, that's chamomile.
Are you looking this up?
It's a flower.
It's a plant. Chamomile Bowl.
We're looking up this bowl. Well, this is a chamomile bowl. This is okay, guys.
Is it just about the flower?
It's 24-20. It doesn't have a sponsor. This is a 10 out of 10. This is my first 10 out of 10. It's just about the flower.
So it's like the Rose Bowl, but just about the flower. I am down as well. I will give it a 10 out of 10, 100% all the way. I will also take Georgia Southern to win this game.
Yeah, 10 out of 10, guys. Good job. Sorry, I'm coming over.
Both teams
over
are 6-6.
I'm taking Georgia Southern. I'm taking Georgia Southern too.
Okay, well they are the favorites. So
yeah,
I guess
no. Georgia Southern has impressed me. I thought they were going to be. Anyway, the Memphis and Utah State, the Serve Pro First Responders Bowl in Gerald J. Ford Stadium, not Gerald R. Ford Stadium, in Dallas, Texas. Memphis, that's all I have to say. 1 for the naming. I'm sorry, this is First Responders. Much respect. You get a 2.
Okay. Back up. Serve Pro is emergency damage restoration.
That's
so
even lamer.
So I'm
It has
gonna
nothing to do with first responders.
So it has something to do with first responders.
No, it doesn't. That's after the first responders show up. They're the ones who make the money off of the need for first responders.
Yeah. So because it's the first responder bowl, 4 immediately 2 because it's Serve Pro.
Okay.
Yes. And
heads up, if
Yeah.
you ever need to test the 9-volt battery to know if it has charge,
yeah,
you just lick it a little bit.
Okay. What are you 5?
And it doesn't shock you that much.
Are you 5? It doesn't shock you that much.
No, it actually tastes obviously metallic, and it just gives you a little beep beep beep.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not listen to
I'm
him.
just-
maybe
no, I'm just-
maybe you should go back to college
I'm
learn
just,
some more
listen.
worldly skills.
Listen, I am just having some comedy added to our thing.
Are you though?
As Coastal Carolina takes on East Carolina in Birmingham, Alabama. Guys, we missed the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl.
Wait, we
Birmingham.
never picked Memphis or Utah State.
Yeah, I picked Memphis. Sorry.
Oh, well, okay. I'll agree with you, Memphis.
Okay, and we both hated the name. Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. Guys, there's a million ticket apps. So this is like too many syllables. I'll give it a 3 just because it's short enough. And I'm taking
No, I'm gonna give it.
East Carolina.
I'm gonna give this a 4. At least it's not Ticketmaster who screwed over.
There's a million ticket apps. You're thinking of the Taylor Swift thing because
I am
bots
thinking of
got
the Taylor
involved.
Swift, but also
Yeah.
I found this. Listen, man, I'm trying soundbite, but it's not going to play, so it's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Nope, just
No,
kidding.
I didn't hear it.
Okay, great.
Do you want to move on to the Guaranteed Rate Bowl?
I'm going to take East Carolina. You took East Carolina?
Yeah, I took East Carolina.
Okay, yeah, because Coastal Carolina doesn't have anyone playing for them.
No, and most of their people are transferring out.
Guaranteed Rate Bowl, that's like a 2? What? Another mortgage? Like, stop trying to get people to buy houses.
Funny enough, it's at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, which is probably Chase the Duke's Weekend toy.
Yeah, Duke's Weekend,
which is probably has to do with like Chase the credit card. I don't know. Let's check it out. Wisconsin, Oklahoma State. Interesting. Will Luke Fickell be coaching this?
No, Luke Fickell will not. I'm assuming it's Jim Leonard's last game with the University of Wisconsin, longtime linebacker, then DC. They had their quarterback transfer out. Listen, so did Oklahoma State. Spencer Sanders left, but their coaching staff's still intact. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State. Disappointing 7-5 year. However, most of their team was hurt down the stretch. So I'm going to roll with the Cowboys of Oklahoma State.
That's fair. Chase, bowl. It used to be the Cheez-It Bowl. Everybody loved the Cheez-It Bowl. What is it? It's where the Arizona Diamondbacks play.
Oh, yes. Wow, so they turned another baseball. So this immediately, because it's going to be played at a baseball stadium, gets a 2. Immediately.
It's Chase as in J.P. Morgan Chase. Yeah. So it's a thing.
Immediately. Immediately.
I'm giving it a 1. No need to. Here's a presented by bowl. It is UFC against Duke in the Military Bowl presented by.
It's UCF, not
Puriton?
USC.
I'm sorry. There's
well,
too
look
many...
up Puriton. Is it Peloton?
Puriton.
Are we dyslexic?
No, it's in. They do privately held technology company, mostly specializing in space, intelligence, cybersecurity, defense, and homeland security.
Naturally. So I'm going to give Military Bowl gets 10 out of 10. Presented by that BS that we've already talked about, knocks it down to 7.5.
Okay, I'm giving it like a 4. I'm
actually going to change my answer because I just realized we just spent 30 seconds looking up what this company does, and I had no idea, and I don't even know how to pronounce it, so I'm going to lower my score to 3.
Nobody's going to be watching this game anyway as UCF beats Duke, who was barely made it to 6
I
games.
concur with UCF. They got their quarterback coming back, coaching staff intact.
Get in the zone, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, as Kansas takes on Arkansas.
Don't hate the name. I'm gonna do that 8.5 AutoZone Liberty Bowl. I'm okay with it. Kansas. This is where they ended up. All of that. We can take blame for them kind of falling off the cliff latter half of the season because we did our live stream for Kansas TCU. We can also take credit for TCU's ascendance into the college football playoff as well.
Sure.
You heard it here first. Worstest podcast on the interwebs. Listen, that's great and all, but Kansas's defense is really bad, and Arkansas knows what they are. So I'm going to ride with Arkansas.
So
this
is very interesting. This is basically for my entire life, which is 2004, to make everybody feel old. I was 6. Has been sponsored by AutoZone, so this has been a thing.
Well then,
also a previous tie-in was the winner of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, which I think is now what bowl was played in Arizona. Anyway, I'm taking Kansas. I really think they're going to end with a dub here.
Yeah, I get
it's
it. It's
going to be close though. This would actually be one that I would watch.
Okay, what would you rate the bowl name though? I gave it
because it's a classic. I was going to give it an 8.
Okay, all right, alrighty. Next is number 15, Oregon. Disappointing end of the season. Could have potentially made a run at the college football playoff, or at least made things interesting with USC. Is playing North Carolina. Take whatever the over is, take it. Lots of points scored here. In the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl, -4.
At Petco Park.
At Petco Park, -4. Too many words. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words.
Guys, there has never been... Listen, this had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 names in its life.
Yeah.
So, the first sponsor was SeaWorld. That's not good, probably. 0. I'm taking Oregon, but again, this is going to be another good game.
Drake May is staying put. However, North Carolina lost their offensive coordinator to Wisconsin. So they got to work through that. Oregon's got their coaching staff, and Bo Nix is also coming back, so he'll be playing in this game. I like Oregon as well.
Quick question, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Is he the head coach at Wisconsin?
No, he'll be the offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator. He just moved?
Yeah, I guess Wisconsin's going to pay him better than North Carolina. I don't know.
Okay, whatever. Moving along
to the Tax Act Texas Bowl. If it has to do with taxes, you immediately get 5 or below, so I'm going to give it a 4.5. Texas Tech will be playing Ole Miss. and NRG Stadium in Houston.
I think I'm going to take Ole Miss here. And Tax Act. It's just harsh to me. I'm going to give it, what did you give it, a 4?
4.5.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give it a 4.
I'm also going to take Ole Miss. A really disappointing way to end the season. Started out really strong. Was a top 10 matchup with Alabama and then kind of fell off. But I'm still going to take Ole Miss SEC over a mid-tier Big 12 team.
Do we go to Friday? Do you want to...
We go through Thursday, and then next week we'll pick Friday and all the other games.
Awesome. Well, we go to Thursday, December 29th, the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
Get out of here. Guys, again, 5
No,
words.
that's just a great great name.
Bad Boy Mowers, come on. I mean,
Bad
better
Boy
than
Mowers?
Tax Act.
Yeah,
I'll give it.
but here's the deal. And what do mowers make? They make pinstripes in the grass. It almost works in my brain,
But
and for that reason alone, I'm giving it a 7.5.
You know what? I was actually going to give it a 7.5 as well because it is better than taxes. This one's played at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. I'm going to give it a 7.5. It's Syracuse and Minnesota. I'm going to take Minnesota, who's kind of been up and down all year. I'm going to say they finish on a high and beat the Orange of Syracuse, which will basically be like a home game for them because they're staying in New York.
This is weird. I'm sorry. I was looking. The old Camping World is now the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yes, correct.
I think PJ Fleck's going to finish off strong. I'm
Yeah.
just feeling confident. We're going to go
Okay.
with Minnesota. Speaking of the Cheez-It Bowl, it used to be the Camping World Bowl, but they're doing it in Camping World Stadium, so that's probably they don't feel the need to have it a bowl. It's now the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yes.
Everybody loves Cheez-Its.
I do. I'm going to give it a 9.5.
I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
Oh!
Simple and to the point.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, no, I'm giving it a 9.5 because it's not. You don't get that half point for tradition because technically this was an old bowl. This
You
hasn't been the
reneged.
Cheez-It Bowl.
He
I know.
reneged.
I'm sorry. I'm taking Florida State's ranked.
I'm
13th.
taking. Listen, Florida State's been there. Jordan Travis is coming back next year. Their head coach Mike Norvell's going to be there. So next year as well. So I'm going to take Florida State to finish with the high, and I think that will propel them into a top 10 preseason ranking next year. Deserved or not, I don't know. Florida State beats Oklahoma, who also had a very good recruiting class.
I think I'm going to take Florida State as well. We already get the ranking, so we're going to go to number 20 Texas. Taking on 12 Washington. Don't forget the Alamo Bowl.
Valero Alamo
Yeah.
Bowl. I don't know what Valero is. What is Valero?
It's a oil and gas and
naturally
quick fill
Texas.
station.
Sure.
Yeah.
This game is always great. If you have to watch one non-New Year's Six game, Valero Alamo Bowl Thursday, December 29th at 9 p.m. Highly recommend. These games are always good, go into overtime, multiple overtimes. TCU won it a few years ago as well. I'm going to go with Texas. I like their defense. Their defense has shown up for a lot of the year. It's just their offense has been up and down. Washington's defense is not great, but Washington can spin the bean. I'm expecting a lot of points, a very close game, so I'm going to roll with Texas, though. Valero Alamo Bowl, just because of the close games and the good fond memories I have with it, I'm going to give it a 9.
I take my 9.5 for Cheez-It away.
Oh, well,
I just realized there's a Cheez-It Circus Bowl. Citrus Bowl. I'm sorry. You can't be sponsoring two different bowl games.
I 100% agree.
Downgrade to 7.5.
But the Cheez-It Bowl, that wasn't the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl was not always that. So Cheez-It
you
just
still can't be doing it.
I understand that, but penalize the second one, not the first one.
I'm penalizing both of them.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with a 9.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm also
Valero
going to pick
Alamo Bowl. I'm going to
Texas
take
as
a 9.
well.
A 9. Okay, 9. And what are you giving the Alamo Bowl?
An Alamo Bowl. The Valero has been with them for a while, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay, that's not bad.
tradition. And you're right, this game's always fun.
All right. Well, that's a nice little 35-minute episode.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back next week. Next week we will do. We start doing
Talking about playoffs?
We will do playoffs, and we will do New Year's Six bowl games. It'll be
talking about
exciting.
playoffs?
It will be
Not
awesome.
a game. Not a game.
I don't have
Playoffs.
I don't have extra music. Simeon's gonna do his thing. I'm
Playoffs.
Captain Boring. That's Fancy
about
Trash Can.
playoffs.
Wash your hands, you filthy animals. We love you. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at 4th and 1 Podcast.